We've built our life in this house. And I was building mine, I said. Until you tried to gut it for a beach wedding and then watched your husband hit your daughter. That's when the screaming started. She cursed me, called me ungrateful, evil, said she should have never had me. I let her rage until she was breathless. Then I said, "You have 30 days. Click. I wasn't done. Daniel and I went to Justin's wedding, invited only because I hadn't formally gone public yet. I showed up in a sleek white pantsuit, my cheek healed, my eyes colder than ice. My brother smirked at me during the reception like nothing had happened. "Glad you could finally show your face," he said. I leaned in. "I hope you enjoy the honeymoon," I whispered. "Because, when you get back, Mom and Dad won't have a home to welcome you." He laughed until he realized I wasn't joking. 2 weeks later, the final documents went through. I sold the house, not to just anyone, but to a developer who planned to bulldoze and rebuild. The notice was posted on their front door in bright red. Property sold. Vacate within 14 days. My phone rang nonstop. I didn't answer. When they showed up at my doorstep in tears, I let them stand on the lawn. "You think this is fair?" my dad shouted. "No," I said. But neither was slapping me at my engagement or choosing a son over a daughter for 28 years. "We gave you everything," he growled. "You took everything," I corrected. "Now I'm just returning the favor." They begged. For the first time in my life, they begged me. But I had already moved on. I watched them drive away in silence, their entire life packed in the back of Justin's SUV. It wasn't revenge. It was justice. And it was only the beginning. 3 months after I sold the house, life was calm. But I wasn't done healing. The world assumed I was doing fine, that I'd moved on from the betrayal. But trauma doesn't vanish just because the deed is filed and the locks are changed. The truth is, I spent nights questioning whether I went too far, whether revenge was just masking old wounds. But then the letter arrived. It was addressed in my mother's handwriting, mailed, not emailed, as if shame was too heavy for a digital message. I let it sit unopened on my kitchen counter for 2 days. When I finally read it, the words stung like glass. "We raised you. We loved you. You're destroying your family out of spite. You sold our home, your home, and now your father's health is declining. You've made your point. Are you proud of yourself?" No apology, no acknowledgement of what they did to me, just guilt. I burned the letter in a fire pit that night. Daniel stood beside me silently, handing me the lighter. He didn't need to say anything. His presence told me everything I needed. I wasn't wrong to walk away. The world, though, kept turning. 2 weeks later, I got an unexpected call from a familiar number, Gregory Harper, CEO of a prestigious consulting firm where I'd interned in college. I hadn't heard from him in years. "Ava," he said warmly, "I've been following your work with the nonprofit. Your latest housing equity project is brilliant. We're opening a new branch in Seattle. I want you to lead it." I nearly dropped the phone. "You're offering me an executive role?" "Yes," he said. "Full control, full salary, and full freedom." I took it. That night, Daniel and I packed boxes for our move to Seattle. I glanced around our apartment one last time, not because I'd miss it, but because it symbolized the life I built on my own. Tease into my new role, a company gala was held in Los Angeles. I returned to town to speak on stage, unaware that my speech would go viral. I shared my story, not every ugly detail, but enough. I spoke about generational betrayal, about the myth of unconditional love, about how sometimes the people who raise you also try to erase you. The room was silent until it exploded in applause. When I stepped off stage, a young woman stopped me near the elevator. "Your story saved me," she said, tearing up. "My dad made me give up my savings for my brother's law school, and I thought I was the problem. But now I know I'm not." I hugged her. I didn't need validation, but it reminded me my pain had purpose. 2 weeks later, I returned to my childhood town briefly for a real estate visit. As fate would have it, I ran into my brother Justin outside a strip mall. He was thinner, disheveled, eyes darker. He blinked when he saw me step out of the black SUV. "Oh, so the rumors were true," he muttered. "Which ones?" I smiled. "That you sold the house just to prove a point." I tilted my head. "Number I sold it because you beat me there first for years." He looked away. "Mom's been crashing on my couch." "That must be fun," I said. "Maybe next time she'll bring a belt." He flinched. "You really changed?" "No," I said, stepping closer. "You just underestimated how quiet I can be when I'm planning my comeback." He didn't have a reply. Back in Seattle, things grew brighter. I launched a women's initiative for survivors of family betrayal. I named it the second room for all the daughters who were told they'd never deserve the first. At the grand opening, I gave one final speech. I was beaten at my own engagement. But that wasn't the day I broke. It was the day I began to rebuild. We are not what they did to us. We are what we build from it. Applause, tears, hope. My parents. I never saw them again. But every now and then, I imagine them driving past the spot where their house once stood. Now, a modern shelter for single mothers stands there, paid for by the very fund they tried to steal from me. And that's the legacy I choose to leave behind. Not revenge, rebirth. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.